The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my show Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville. I also write for YellowHammerNews.com and do some videos there as well. With me, as always, Mecca Musick. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people, and they've done some really smart stories over the last week or so. Dale Strong talking about town halls. You've had some stuff with Arthur Orr and the gambling that you guys were on top of. Very good stuff. Oddly enough, we'll talk about some of that.
Oddly enough,
we'll talk about some of that stuff here. We also have Jay Town with us, former U.S. Attorney in Northern District of Alabama. We'll talk with him about some legal issues taking place right now all over the country. We'll talk with him about that. And then I've got a parting shot for you. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning. You know, this was a hard one. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the first one, but let's talk a little bit about tariffs because that's a big deal. First day, stock market absolutely craters. The question's going to really be what happens next after these Trump tariffs go into place. Do they have the ability to stick with it and deal with the actual outcome? Now, there's been a lot of stuff that has happened. You have like Mercedes-Benz saying, hey, look, Germany, you guys need to meet with Trump and figure all this out. You have Canada saying, look, we'll talk. And I think that's what Trump wants out of all of this. But the question really I have about this, Mecca, is does Donald Trump, who really, as much as people want to pretend it's not true, has a tin ear when it comes to how the media treats him, is he able to withstand the onslaught of negativity that's going to come over the next 2 weeks while all of this first gets baked in and then starts to work itself out?
Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
I think as far as Trump, 100%.
I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't.
I'm surprised.
Do you know what tin ear is? It means you hear everything, and you're very sensitive to it. And he is. As much as people are like, oh, he's very... He likes it when the people in the media are nice to him. He met with Bill Maher this week because he thought Bill Maher had said something nice about him. Okay.
Listen, I'm not saying that it's not a factor to some extent, but he has been saying constantly, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. It's good for America.
He's waffled on tariffs for 2 months, back and forth on multiple different times. This is the big swing.
Right. This is the big swing. But also, isn't this what you wanted? Didn't you say you just want him to do it?
Becca, I am an analyst, and I have to look at things, and it's not just about what I want, it's about what I think.
So, but the reactions, I mean, we could talk about those. Those have varied a lot. I mean, obviously there's the stock market reaction, which is cratering. However, a lot of the countries have said, hey, we want to negotiate. And the reports are because they're scared. If they get in a war, it's just going to, Trump will come back, double down on it, basically.
You can't get into a trade war with the biggest dog on the block who has a president who's made it clear that this is it. This is the thing.
We have talked about negotiation tactics. You don't think this is part of it?
I do. I'm just suggesting that he's very sensitive sometimes on stuff like this, about what people say about him, what people think about him. I mean, come on.
Well,
he's still mad about something Rosie O'Donnell said about him 20 years ago.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, exactly, he'll be mad about it, but I think in some cases it just makes him go harder.
Okay, so you think he sticks with this? Okay, well, let me just ask you a question. 2 months from now, are these tariffs still in place?
I think we will see adjusted deals and negotiations.
Wow. Okay. The best thing about this was the math they used to get here. People are like, oh, we're gonna do a reciprocal tariff. A reciprocal tariff is they charge us 20% for butter, so we're gonna charge 20% butter. Instead, they did imports divided by exports, and half it in half, and that's what we have. Just amazing. I did not see it the way.
And they varied from country to country.
Well, yeah, but the premise was the same. Yeah. I thought it was very interesting. We'll see where he stands. All right, let's talk about gambling here in the state of Alabama. It's not happening. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Becca, I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you, they don't have the votes for this. They do not have the votes for this. It appears that you have Greg Albritton down in the Alabama legislature going around being like, what about this? What about this?
Yes.
I've stole this from Jeff Poore. It is the Gambling Lobbyist Protection Act. That's basically what this is. This gives the people involved the ability to say, look, we're still moving this ball forward. And they are. I'm not suggesting they're not.
Right.
But eventually this thing passes. Eventually.
Not this session.
Not this year, maybe next year, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years from now, depending on what it is. I think the purchase of that race course in Birmingham is a big game changer here, but we're not there yet. They don't have the votes, do they?
I think it is a big game changer, though. I think if a gambling bill were passed, you would see significant improvements at that facility. They're already doing improvements. I think you would see a significally higher degree or level of those.
Yes, if they made more money, they would spend more money on it. Yeah, that's how. If this show made money, I'd have a different co-host. That's exactly how it would work.
That was so terrible. Let me finish my thought.
Okay.
Okay. No, but we have been told repeatedly that it's not going to come up to a vote unless the votes are there. It's not coming up for a vote, ergo, the votes are not there.
This show makes money, by the way. But I would also just like to point out, you talk to people about this, and you hear State Senator Arthur Orr, who was on this program last week, saying, just give me a lottery by itself.
No, and his plan makes a lot of sense. And then
it does. That's why it's never going to happen.
And then, not lottery by itself, but then each issue separately, and let the people of Alabama vote on them.
Okay.
Casinos, table games, sports betting, and make them each
Senator Orr said
issue.
it's like a train.
Yes.
You got the lottery at the front pulling it, and then once it goes through the tunnel, everything else will follow. Bull crap. Because what happens is
that's the correct way to do it.
What happens is once the lottery gets through, they're going to unconnect the trains.
Yeah.
And then someone's going to pull a switch and it's going to go off a bridge because the lottery's just going to pull off all by itself. That's how that actually works. This scenario that he paints, it's all or nothing. If you want to get
But
sports
he makes
gambling,
a lot of sense talking about why
he's
it
right.
shouldn't be.
He's
Thank
100%
you.
right.
It shouldn't be all or nothing.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to something that I'm very interested in, especially since I've had a vasectomy and my wife is a federal employee. Parental leave. This is something that I didn't even realize we did not have inside the state of Alabama, mostly because I did not care. But the issue is real. 2 weeks for men, 8 weeks for women, whether or not they have a birth, a miscarriage, or a stillbirth, they get maternity leave. I saw a lot of conservatives mad about this, like, oh, the AEA runs the state. And I'm like, yeah, of course they do. Why are you upset about this? Secondly, this just seems like a no-brainer here. Like, why would you have a problem with this?
Exactly. And I like how you wrote about time because, that is very true. And I say many, like you said, you didn't know it didn't exist. I think many people say it's long overdue. Now, this is for public employees.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you can't just say every company has to do this.
Well, there are people that want them to do that.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Alabama, though, is really trying to attract workforce. And this is just... another little bulletin board post like, hey, this is something we do in Alabama for our public workers. But nonetheless,
it's a benefit.
It's a benefit.
It's a benefit that you don't have to pay to everybody. I mean, that's basically what it is. I know I'm not saying that facetiously.
It's a really good headline, and it frames Alabama as a more workforce-friendly state.
Yeah, but again, why in the world was this not already in place? The AE has run the state for 136 years. What a bunch of losers. I mean, you have the ability to call the shots for 136 years, and you can't get this simple thing done. And that's the thing that kind of surprised me about this is why it took so long for them to get this. You would have thought in a competent organization, when they were just getting absolutely destroyed over the last 15 years, that they would have said, can you give us some parental leave while you're taking everything else from us? Like, you would have thought that an organization, if it was run by competent people and not imbeciles, would be able to pull that off. But they weren't. And that's why I'm surprised that this happened. But
I wasn't aware that I thought we were going to talk about the merits of parental leave. I didn't know this was going to talk into an AEA trust.
What do you want me to say? I'm sorry. Letting a woman have time off after she has a baby? The real question is, why is that woman allowed to have a job?
Okay,
can we move on?
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's talk a little bit about these elections that took place this week. I find myself sort of on an island amongst my colleagues on talk radio. Every single show I've done has told me I am wrong on this, which assures me that I am correct on this. This was a very bad election for Donald Trump and Republicans. It was very, very bad. You saw the momentum has completely shifted. Now, they're special elections, so take those with a grain of salt. Democrats are very good at that, and I'll explain why here in just a second. But if you look at all of this, this is all bad. The margins of victories were smaller than they should have been everywhere. They held serve in Wisconsin. It was already liberal in the Supreme Court, but that battle was over redrawing congressional seats. So you're going to lose congressional seats there if you're a Republican. Here's how they won this thing, and here's what Democrats have been very smart on doing right now. This is going to help them all the way up until, I believe, the midterms. They have a group of very agitated people, and they are constantly agitating them nonstop. That's why there's everywhere you go, there's a protest at the park every 2 weeks, and it's the same 200 people, but those 200 people can swing a city school board election, and they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we have like literal clowns on the Huntsville City School Board here.
Oh, it's your favorite, AEA to Huntsville School Board.
Yeah,
this is your best day ever.
Yeah, it's exactly right. But they're agitating those people
Yes.
constantly poking them with a stick the whole time. So they're just mad, and you just direct them where you want them to go.
So-
Go to a park and protest about Tesla? Absolutely. Go to a park, protest about Palestine? Absolutely. Go down to the polls and vote? Absolutely, we'll do that. And that's why this is working.
So you don't think that Elon Musk's actions swayed that election? You're saying it's more the agitators, the
He
general
put $20 million
discontent.
in. If anything, he probably helped. It was closer than it should have been.
Do you think so?
Look,
Because many people are saying he is a poison pill for Republicans, and that it would be better if he wasn't involved in that. Like if you're running for an election, don't
Democrats
let
have
Elon
George
Musk.
Soros. Now Republicans have Elon Musk. That's their boogeyman. He's
Well,
just
they're
more
not
visible.
saying don't take his money. Exactly.
He's-
They're
he's
not
just-
saying
he's-
don't take his money. They're saying don't let him on stage.
No,
with you.
you're overblowing that.
think so?
I think so. I don't think that it's that important like that. I think what you have here is Elon Musk is a very public figure, and I think that he is everywhere, no question about it.
Absolutely.
And the media wants him everywhere because they view him as a negative. So maybe he is a net negative, but Twitter or X or whatever the hell we're calling it today, that thing is a powerful messaging tool. I don't view that he's like some sort of huge net negative draw on the Republican Party.
What about him stepping down or taking a lower,
They're saying
a
that's going to
lesser
happen,
position?
but the Trump administration says it's not going to happen. So it probably is. I mean, that would be my takeaway on that. But again, he's always going to be visible in this
Absolutely.
instance, and we'll see about that. But look, getting on stage with the chainsaw was a bad idea.
That's
It
not the best
remains
look.
a bad idea when you're cutting people's jobs and stuff like that. All right, let's take a quick time out here. Jay Town will be with us next. He's a former U.S. attorney. We've got a lot of legal stuff to talk about. Stay tuned.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus, live, local, and always on.
Every year in Alabama, we miss out on between $65 and $90 million in tax revenue by not legalizing sports betting here in our state. Money that can be used to improve our roads and bridges, or elevate our school systems and support our first responders. Contact your legislator to ensure sports betting is legalized in Alabama. Learn more at betonalabama.com.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Musick.
And this week we have former U.S. Attorney Jay Town here with us today, and favored guest, absolutely. Jay, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks. I mean, the favorite, not favorite. You meant to say the favorite.
I did. I apologize.
Yeah,
I misspoke.
okay.
I misspoke. Listen, Jay, I wanted to talk to you about a lot of issues, but first of all, let's talk about the role of Congress. There's been a bill that has come up to basically maybe limit judges' powers in blocking the Trump agenda. Talk to us about that bill and what that means.
So really and this was generated by Senator Grassley, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I believe Senator Britt is a co-sponsor on the bill, but I know she's in support of it. Essentially what it does is it limits the jurisdiction to these injunctions that we're seeing all over the country, these nationwide injunctions. It limits it to the district in which it's filed and the parties on which it's filed on their behalf. So in the case of the TDA gang members, there are 5 plaintiffs filed in Washington, D.C. Those 5 plaintiffs would not be able to be removed from the United States, and that's it. Not a nationwide injunction against removing anyone to El Salvador that's a TDA gang member. So I think it might cause some judicial inefficiencies because there might be, there's 93 different sort of districts around the country. So they could file 93 lawsuits ostensibly, but it's ridiculous to have one judge being the head of USAID, the head of the CIA, the head of the Justice Department. That's absurd. That's Article 2, and that has to come to a stop, and SCOTUS is going to have to do that.
So you had it sort of here in Alabama a little bit with Myron Thompson. He shows up on all these rulings, and it's like, wow, this guy is involved in everything. He's like a super legislator. He can do anything he wants. And 130 cases, 40 different rulings against the Trump administration's executive orders, firings, USAID, all of them will end up before the Supreme Court. I think a part of this is also speeding that up, like the process. I mean, why does it take so long to do anything when it comes to
Well,
this?
I think from the Supreme Court actually issuing cert, I think what's taking so long there is they are making sure that the processes are completely followed and all the boxes are checked underneath them. And the reason is because if it's not, then the next case that comes in sort of like the same issues, if it followed a different process, there's arguments to be made that this case is now distinct from the one that you've already ruled upon, as opposed to them just being able to deny cert. So that's why they're, I think, being patient. You mentioned Judge Thompson. We had Judge Burke right here in Huntsville recently excoriated lawyers for shopping around a case. And the forum shopping has to stop. It's unethical. The state bars and the judges really have to start taking these lawyers to task for doing it. Both sides do it. Liberals are better at it.
Yeah, I think that's the key to that part. The college student, DeRudy, down at the University of Alabama, Tuberville said, time to go. That was Tuberville's statement on this. But there's been a lot of talk about those cases where they ended the visas and then let them hang out, and now the Trump administration is rounding those people up and saying, you guys got to go.
Correct.
That visa was ended under Biden, that particular one. And what I find interesting about this is they never explain what the national security risk is. So they say the one in Colombia just wrote an editorial. Not the case. There's more to the story, obviously. How come that's not being explained to the American people?
Well, everybody could do a better job sort of grasping, I think, explaining what the terms of removal are. So it's not just, it doesn't always have to be a national security issue. It could just be simply that you told us when you came in here and we gave you a visa that you were going to only do X, and you did a whole bunch of other things. So you lied to us on the way in. So the Secretary of State actually, on his own, sua sponte, which is Latin for on his own, can go ahead and remove those individuals, revoke their visas, and send them home. So we got to do better. All immigration law, visas, the removal and the Alien Enemies Act, it's all very complicated legal frameworks. It's really hard to explain in a 30-second soundbite or a tweet. But I do think that they're doing their best to inform the American people while they're fighting it out in court.
Hey, go ahead.
I have a question. There's been reports of green card holders who might have committed minor offenses, but they're taken care of. They're having problems getting back in the country. Are there going to be court cases coming from that?
Well, you don't have a right to demand to come into the United States especially if you were removed. In fact, if you were removed,
no, if you just traveled for funsies and then came back,
and then came back. I mean, again, here's what's great. We're in a new era. We're in a new era with Trump, with the way we're handling immigration in this country and visas and the like. So I think we're going to have to just sort of wait and see where the sort of benchmarks are.
I think there's a messaging thing going on here. I think Trump is sending a message: don't come.
Yeah.
I mean that's the message. It's like stop coming in.
And if you're here, we're going to send you home.
Right, and the numbers are down significantly on all of that. The other issue that I think is interesting. I don't know if you heard this. I guess in the terror tunnels in Israel during this, the people who are holding these hostages were saying names of people who were on college campuses back in the United States. And that's one of the things. Have you heard that?
I've not heard that, but it's not surprising. And so you have a Mahmoud Khalil at Columbia we
have the students. The students are fighting for us.
Right.
That's basically the argument they made. And so that whole thing. But just to reiterate this before we get out of here, Marco Rubio could do all this on his own.
Correct.
All this talk about due process and stuff like this, I think is a messaging machine from the left. I don't think it's necessarily something they actually believe because it doesn't exist in this situation. Is that correct?
It's correct. And what's going to happen is the Supreme Court event. Here's the thing: the long game. Liberals don't do a great job in the long game. Look at their illegal immigration policies. What's going to happen is they are going to find out from the Supreme Court that Article 2 does exist. It was written down for a reason. And the President and Secretary Rubio and others are going to have all these extraordinary powers again without these lawsuits. And this liberal messaging game is going to tether into the water.
Yeah, I think it gets obliterated once these things start getting resolved. Jay Town, former U.S. Attorney, Northern District of Alabama. One of our first guests. He's a great job every single time, so we appreciate him.
Our favorite guest.
Favorite
guest.
Also,
not favorite.
You say favorite, I say first. All right, we'll be right back. Mecca leaves. Show gets much better. It's Alabama Politics this week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Sector anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Every year in Alabama, we miss out on between $65 and $90 million in tax revenue by not legalizing sports betting here in our state. Money that can be used to improve our roads and bridges, or elevate our school systems and support our first responders. Contact your legislator to ensure sports betting is legalized in Alabama. Learn more at betonalabama.com.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I'm Dale Jackson. We're about to wrap up the show here, so we're in a hurry. But don't forget, go to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my 7 things. That's yellowhammernews.com. Let's go ahead and get to that parting shot. Now, my parting shot is directed at Planned Parenthood and the people down at the University of Alabama who were protesting in favor of the student that is about to be removed. You have no idea why they're even removing him. You don't know. You have no clue. You're out there on the street protesting for him. I'm not saying you can't be upset that they're removing people from college campuses and stuff like that, but I would be remiss if I did not mention to you that eventually we're going to find out what it is. And my guess is it's more than he existed on a campus while being Iranian. I'm going to guess it's more than that. I could be wrong, and if I am, I will acknowledge it. My question is, will you? I don't think that you will, but you'll go out and scream in the street about something you know nothing about. That's a bad look. Stop doing that. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for taking time to talk with us this week. It's Alabama Politics this week, and we'll be back next week.
Every year in Alabama, we miss out on between $65 and $90 million in tax revenue by not legalizing sports betting here in our state. Money that can be used to improve our roads and bridges, or elevate our school systems and support our first responders. Contact your legislator to ensure sports betting is legalized in Alabama. Learn more at betonalabama.com.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.